Hi, everyone. It's Rick Lawrence and Fred Oduyoye of Reachable Reconciliation here for another conversation about how to reconcile, which I, again, can't think of a bigger topic in today's, just not only the wider culture, but in church culture. Churches are moving back into face-to-face relationships with people in their churches after a long time spent apart, and discovering, wow, there's still a lot of division left over, a lot of hurt, pain, angry feelings. There's a lot of relationships left to be reconciled. That's true with me too. I was telling you, Fred, before about a couple that we had been in close relationship with for a decade, and during the pandemic, we discovered some foundational beliefs that we have are vastly different from each other, and so much so it was like shocking. And now we're coming back together, and I see the wife of this couple in a fitness class I take twice a week. And I've been trying to figure out, like, how do I re-enter into this relationship when there's this elephant in the room, and I don't want to do it standing in the health club, and all these thoughts coming by. I was thinking about your 5 R's, and that those are reactions, reflection, repairs, reaching, and relationship. This is the sort of the threads that Fred uses in his work with congregations and people to bring reconciliation. And that middle one, repairs, one of the things you say is you can't repair without tools.
Yeah.
And here I need tools. So
Right.
what are the tools we need to repair, Fred?
That's a good question, Rick. I think that a lot of times we may be looking for answers to come from different places, but when we consider the experiences that each of us have had, and certainly those of us who are connected closely to our faith, you realize that most of the tools come from within. So, it's almost like in the scripture when it says, "Hey, don't take anything in your bag. You don't need anything in your purse," right? Like we got that together. And you mentioned that text. I think I heard you mention that text recently, Rick. Right? Yeah. Take nothing in your bag. You got it. Everything's in the bag within you. Right?
I've never thought about that passage before, Fred, in the way that you just described that. Like, Jesus tells the disciples as he's sending them out, you can't take a cloak and no money and nothing. Yeah. And it's like an outside sources of resource. But you're saying that he's saying, hey, it's all in you already. That's so good.
It's all in you. It's all in you. And so it made me think. I have a Toyota Tundra in the grill. I was driving, and I realized that my grill was starting to come off, and so I taped it. Put some tape on it. So now I'm looking really terrible because I was going out of town. I wanted to make sure, that it was secure. Anyway, come back and go to the auto parts store, and they're telling me, oh, we got to order these clips in, and so it kind of attaches back to it. We weren't sure if they were the right clips, and so we ordered them just to see. And so I went back to go get them. It was real busy in there, and I said, "Oh, that's all right. Let's see. Well, these are close enough, And he said, "Yeah, they should work." And so I said, "Yeah, I got it, no problem." So I went back home, and I put the clips in there and just kind of pushed the grill on there. And I was like, it's good to me. So I had to travel the next day, and I'm driving. I'm not even thinking about it. I jump on the highway. I'm going a little above the speed limit. And so I'm traveling pretty fast. Not thinking about anything. And all of a sudden I look in my rear view mirror, and I look ahead, and I watch my grill fly off the front over my truck. I look in my rear view mirror, it hits a car, and that didn't interrupt them, but bounces off, hits the ground, and all these vehicles just rolled over it and smashed it into a bunch of pieces.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. And so you say, well, what the heck does that have to do with, repairing and tools? And when I say that everything's in you, I mean, I think just even off of that story, the first thing you got to do is you got to get some clarity, right? So, or let's say that's one of the tools, okay, is to get some clarity. And I think when even in the story, I just grabbed those clips, but I really didn't get clarity on whether that was the right clip. And sometimes in conversations or in repair, we make assumptions, but we don't really get clarity. And sometimes we don't want to get clarity because those clarity is difficult, right? And it's new and it's unfamiliar. And so I would say the first tool is, maybe to get some clarity. The other is maybe not winging it. So, but maybe you have the right tool. Okay. So I didn't quite have the right tools. So I was just kind of trying to use the back of a screwdriver, and I'm trying to hit it with my hand. And so, even in repairing, we try to massage the situation without putting in a lot of effort, right? And that's not the way, because then you're kind of winging it, right? You're not really saying, hey, I value the situation enough to actually make sure that I'm being very intentional in what I'm doing. And then lastly, I think in repairing, you've got to try to take small bites in testing out what the two people or others have learned one step at a time, right? Not, I put it on my truck and I drive 75 miles an hour up the highway, right? But maybe, can we not go that fast? But can we make sure that together we're learning so that the repair process is a gradual crescendo moment where we can be in right relationship with each other.
But what you're saying is it's really too late for me when I see this person at the end of my fitness class to come up with my plan, how to re-engage.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I love those three things: clarity, intentionality, and take it one step at a time.
Yeah.
It all means that how I'm translating this right now is slow down and be more intentional about how to re-enter instead of just expecting you'll figure it out.
Absolutely.
Into the conversation, because I love what you just said too, Fred. That was really actually convicting for me. Value the relationship enough to do that.
Yeah.
What it means is that if I don't do that, then I'm really saying to myself, I'm not valuing the relationship enough to be intentional about this. That's convicting. So I love those three things. And the one step at a time thing, slowing down to make sure you're not going too fast out of this. That may mean that you make just little incremental victories in reattaching, right?
Absolutely. If I want to drive here from Florida, there's a bunch of exits along the way, right? And so we can't pretend like there's nothing that exists in between, right? There's life, and we got to make sure that we're taking it all in.
And that's, I think, all of this to say also is that this is really why you're a coach in this process, Fred. Coaching means intentionality. And so for those of you watching this right now that recognize, like I do, that you feel maybe convicted and also invited to do something that has more profound impact on reconciliation in your church culture and even in your personal relationships, part of that intentionality can be to work with Fred to help you be intentional about it. If you want an outcome that leads to restoration, then why not get help? Why not value the relationship enough to get the kind of intentional help you need? So if you want to contact Fred, there's information right below here that you can get in touch with him and just explore with Fred what the possibilities are in your context. Well, we'll see you again next time for our next video conversation. Thanks everyone.
So much.